Welcome to the Big Play Cleveland Show presented by FanDuel. I'm your host, Gabriella Cruz, alongside Chris McNeil, Nick Padone. A big shout out to our producer, Ryan Smith. As always, pretty fun-filled weekend, guys. In the Browns preseason game, we're going to get into it. Guardians climbing back 6 games behind Detroit, and so many other things to talk about on our show today. But how was everybody's weekend?
It was great. It was nice to kick it off literally on Friday night with such a great preseason game. I know it's just preseason, but you see Shedeur Sanders. You see the potential there, Nick, and you've got a reason for excitement right now in Cleveland, which is a nice place to be. We're not always there in August when we come into Brown season, so I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah,
Nick.
it was a lot of fun. I actually was able to watch this game with my dad, which I cherish all of those, memories growing up watching Browns games with him, and this one was really cool too. My dad's a big Deion Sanders fan, has been my entire life. So to be able to watch Deion's kid play with my dad, it was a very cool moment. And I'm ultimately really glad that he went out there and he played well, because it gives all of us a little bit of optimism as we're getting geared up for yet another Brown season. Some really encouraging things from Shedeur Sanders and some really encouraging things from the entire team. I know we'll break it all down, but it was a really nice start to the season for our Browns. And when we get these moments, we got to celebrate them, because you never know how many more you'll have.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that either. I mean, you can get excited about this. You can get excited about some preseason wins, some preseason individual performances. There's nothing wrong with that. Sure, we understand it's only the preseason. Sure, we know it's not the regular season. But at this point in August, that's all you can hope for, is to see progress. And that's what we're seeing right now.
And I think it was all good vibes, it seemed like. And the other thing is, it just kind of shook off a lot of the curiosity from the fan base about okay, so what does this guy even look like right now? So we'll get into all things Browns. Let's do our Cleveland Sports headlines, brought to you by our friends at Fairway Ford.
Fairway Ford offers complete customization for any vehicle on the lot with their Fairway Black Label line. This series features custom upgrades like premium wheel and tire packages, a wide variety of level or lift kits, performance enhancements, and fully customized interior options. And every Fairway Black Label comes with Rhino spray-in bed liner. Whether you're looking for an aggressive off-road stance, a bold street presence, or a one-of-a-kind build, Fairway Black Label delivers. As a bonus, many of these upgrades can be financed for as little as 0% APR, depending upon the vehicle line. If you dream it, they can build it. Visit fairwayfordohio.com to explore their current Black Label inventory, or give them a call to start designing yours today.
We had Mike from Fairway Ford on the Big Factor this morning, hooked us up with these new Browns-themed Fairway Ford hats. So get on out to Fairway Ford, get that Black Label truck ready to roll. Tailgate season. Pull up in the Muni lot of Fairway Ford. Turn some heads.
All right, guys, let's start with that preseason game. 30-10 over the Panthers. Your main takeaways here. Shedeur, as we were talking about him, was 14 of 23 for 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. We're going to get talking to Noah Weiskopf here shortly about some of the other people who impressed. But what were your main thoughts?
Well, that was the first, and obviously all eyes were on Shedeur Sanders. Shortly after his performance, you saw Nike. Nick put out that ad with the wrists up, so the whole nation was really watching this game, and Shedeur was able to ball out. He was able to answer some of the questions we had coming in, which are the basics. Hey, can he get us in and out of the offense? How is he going to perform under some heat back there in the pocket? Can he move in the pocket? Will he be able to make a few reads? And then, oh, by the way, can he run a little bit when he needs to? And he did all of that. He did a little bit of each, and that was great to see. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks, obviously, in Cleveland here, and it's nice to see somebody hitting the basics right off the bat, because that opens you up, Nick, to learning more and potentially being the guy going forward.
Yeah, he passed the eye test. How many guys have we seen come through here since 1999 that couldn't even do that, that couldn't even pass that first initial look? And Shedeur Sanders passed it with flying colors. I know there were a lot of people that wanted to tap the brakes really hard because Dorian Thompson-Robinson also looked really good in his NFL debut. I don't know, man. Some of those touchdown passes that Shedeur Sanders threw were in windows that were Sunday caliber National Football League throws. Shedeur looked really good. And I think while that was fun and we were able to have fun with the wrist up and the Nike ad and all that stuff, I think he had to have shown to the Browns, to the organization, that he can handle all of the things that they're looking for him to do in terms of the pre-snap reads and handling the motions before the ball is snapped, being able to communicate the play from inside his helmet to the rest of the huddle. Some of those reasons why we've heard he's not been able to get on the practice field very much, he seemed to me like he was able to execute all of that and then some. So there were a lot of reasons to be very optimistic about what Shedeur Sanders showed. Now all eyes are going to be on the depth chart and where he belongs on this thing, as the regular season, guys, it's hard to believe, is less than a month away. So you got to start whittling this thing down at some point.
Yeah, speaking of depth, what do you guys think of the D-line depth out there? We had Huntington and Wright both had a sack. Okwara had 2. There were a lot of positive takeaways, and then I did want to ask you about your thoughts on Dustin Hopkins and the shaky performance he had.
Well, first of all, Carson Schwessinger, I think this guy's going to be a stud for us. He was all over the field. He was making tackles, making plays. You know, we saw Jordan Hicks, obviously, a couple of days into camp. He decided he was going to retire, so it brings a lot of questions to this defensive unit. You don't have JOK, obviously, for the season. And this looks like a guy, Nick, who even as a rookie, a second-round pick for us, may be able to step up, fill some voids, and maybe even wear that green sticker. I think this is a guy who may be able to really do something with the Browns in the future.
Well, a lot has been made of just his academic acumen, the fact that he is a smart dude, and that's what it takes to play that linebacker position. Like, a lot of people don't understand that you truly are point guarding the entire defense as a rookie linebacker. Sometimes it's a lot to bite off, but when you've got a smart individual back there, it helps make things a lot easier. And then the fact that athletically, I mean, he was all over the field, that was very encouraging. The one thing that I saw just on the game tape, right, like watching the game live, Mason Graham was getting double teamed a lot. You ain't going to be able to do that when 95's on the field. You can only double team so many people. Mason Graham has a huge opportunity to be an impact player for our Browns. And I know a lot of people have said, like, the numbers might not be that gaudy because he's an interior defensive lineman. Like, don't look too much into that. I don't know, guys. Like, he has an opportunity to do some big time things as a rookie just because Miles is going to command those double teams. And we saw in his preseason debut, they were focusing almost solely on Mason Graham.
Which position group do you think has the most depth?
Oh, right now, it's certainly not wide receiver. I'd say tight end, and that was going into the season. I really like what we've got with Njoku, with the young guy out of Bowling Green right now. I think that there's a lot that we can do out of that tight end position.
Could I say quarterbacks? We've got 6 of them
Well, you
now.
do have a lot.
Now, I'm told Deshaun Watson is going to be medically cleared prior to October 1st. So there will be a conversation that's had at some point about using up potentially one of 53 roster spots on Deshaun Watson. I have no clue how the Browns are going to handle that, but he has been attacking his rehab very hard. We saw he made the trip to Carolina in his number 4 hat. So is it crazy to say that quarterback might be the deepest room? I mean, they've got 6 of them. Not sure if any of them are any good, but just the sheer number of QBs that they have, it's a lot.
Did give us some nice photos along the sidelines, didn't it? As Shedeur's out there kind of balling out, and you see Deshaun Watson, you see
Dylan Gabriel looked like he just had a root canal.
Yeah.
And then you see Joe Flacco just laughing like the old man, like the proud dad, while these other kids are along the sideline. So great moments, even for a preseason game. That was kind of fun to see.
I think it's one of those things people don't know how much stock to put into the preseason game. And with that comes this next question. Were you spooked by Dustin Hopkins and the missed extra point? Or, you know, is this just getting some of the early bugs out?
We have bad flashbacks of missing field goals, mixing extra points. And we had one that was missed in that game that was deemed to have gone in. I mean, that's the type of position that I always am very concerned going into the season what we're going to do at kicker because it seems like we've always got a question mark. Ever since Phil Dawson has left here, Nick, we haven't found somebody consistent. And once again, here we are again, worried about the kicker position a little bit.
Chris, I'm not feeling good about it. I got to be 100% honest with you, man. I mean, this is a guy that was 18 of 27 on field goals last year. Any normal kicker, like, you get cut if you're 66% on field goals. The Browns couldn't do it last year, though. Remember, they restructured his contract, and because of that, the guarantees got pushed, so you couldn't cut a kicker who had guaranteed money attached to him. He's got to be better. I know that's the Kevin Stefanski line that a lot of us got sick of hearing during the regular season last year, but that is the thing with Dustin Hopkins. He's got to be better. He can't be as bad as he was last year, and boy, was it difficult to see him miss kicks again. It was like, no, we got to get back to what you were in 2023, not what you were in 2024.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Big Play Cleveland presented by FanDuel right after this.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Lake Spur Marketing, connecting your brand to the right customers. Visit lakespurmarketing.com today.
Welcome back to the Big Play Cleveland Show. It's time for our Garage Beer featured interview. Garage Beer is the perfect beer for any occasion. It's small batch, no frills, no bitterness. It's just beer that tastes like beer. The garage is always open with Garage Beer. And our doors are open today to friend of show. We've got a very special guest. NoahWeiskopf is in studio. And first things first, congratulations on your new gig, UNC. He's going to be covering. Are you going to be a little nervous to be interviewing Bill Belichick?
Definitely. Although from what I've seen so far, he's a little bit more laid back in the college space. I think he's started to realize that the media is something that he's going to have to deal with a little bit more, probably more so than in the NFL. So from what I've seen and heard, he's been a little bit more laid back and willing to talk. And what you get from him is the truth. So I'm excited to get started down there and get talking to him.
Well, you've got so much experience. Tell people what you've been spending your time covering. I know you've been more at the NFL level, so this should be easy enough for you.
Yeah, so I started covering the Browns, actually, funny enough. And then I went to Ohio State and started covering the football team last year there for their championship run. So got to know Ryan Day and got to talk to him on a consistent basis. But nothing's been like Bill Belichick and his pedigree and what he's been able to do. So it's super exciting and just fun to pick his brain and just hear him talk football. It'll make everybody I know in the room smarter. And a lot of former Browns coaches are down there, too. Freddie Kitchens, offensive coordinator, Mike Prefer, special teams coordinator. So some familiar faces down there.
Okay.
So that's interesting. So I know you're just kind of getting into it with UNC down there, and having covered Ohio State for a while, have you seen any differences yet in the way UNC kind of handles things versus a huge program like Ohio State?
Not yet. I haven't been down there yet, obviously. When I move down there and start to get there day to day, I think I'll start to see the differences more. But I think that there will be a lot of similarities, especially once basketball season comes around. Like UNC basketball is a different breed. So I think that I'm going to be able to draw comparisons. And from what I've already talked to people down there, draw a lot of comparisons between Ohio State football and UNC basketball, especially with the fan bases, how they are with even losing a game or not winning a game by 30 in
high
non-conference.
standards.
Right, like those kinds of things. So I'm excited, and I think that there will be a lot more similarities than I think I'm even anticipating there will be once I get down there.
Noah, we've got to ask. The Shedeur Sanders mania started here locally. You've got one more week here, pal, so you can't avoid it too much yet. What'd you see from Shedeur in the debut?
Oh, it was so impressive. Just cool, calm, and collected, right? Like, I don't know how many people expected that to happen going into the game, but once he got in the game, he played fast, but he didn't play overly fast, right? Like, you could tell that he was playing quick. The coaches got him prepared to just be able to go out there and not think and make decisions. I think that his decision-making was great. He was quick decisions with the football, throwing it, getting out quick. He really felt the pressure without seeing it. You could tell he was moving in the pocket. I think that a couple of those plays early on where he was out scrambling for 15, 20 seconds, I think that those he'll learn pretty quick to just throw it away, save the energy. But other than that, man, I thought he was super accurate. His accuracy was something that was always talked about in college and clearly translates to the NFL level. I think the Browns are going to probably have some sort of situation on their hands if he continues to perform like that. But I also think once defensive coordinators are able to prepare for him in the regular season, it'll be a little bit different because I know the preseason isn't as intense with that. But from what we've seen so far, there's nothing to be not promising about him. So.
What'd you see from him as a teammate out there and the rapport with the other players? I know I just saw some video come out of him and Myles Garrett along the sideline that was pretty good. He did the intro coming in where he had a boombox out there, got into it with Tony Grossi at the end there a little bit. So there's a little bit of off-the-field stuff. And from what I saw, it was pretty positive. Did you get the same impression?
I thought so, too. I even think the thing with Tony Grossi is a positive thing in general, right? Like, he's willing to go talk to somebody in the media, be a man about it, talk to him about it, and then have a laugh at the end, right? Like, it wasn't something super serious. They didn't get in each other's faces, right? It was a valid conversation that they were able to have and then laugh it off of them. But yeah, I think his teammates love him. I know the whole entourage thing and ended up being a teammate. Like, that was a funny thing there on social media. But yeah, overall, like, super impressed, not only with the play on the field, but with how he's carried himself ever since the fall in the draft and then coming to Cleveland unexpectedly, really, and then how he's carried himself throughout.
Noah, go ahead.
I was just going to go off of what you said. I think it's super cool just when you're so close being in the media and you see how serious people take it on a day-to-day basis. One thing that is really refreshing is he's so zoomed out in a way that's like, hey, it's still a game. I'm allowed to talk to a media member. Some people are like, oh, he's threatening him into saying nice things. No, I think he's just trying to, like, break the ice a little bit and have a little bit more of a personal relationship, which I think is pretty mature on his end. So I agree with you there. Did you see anything else impressive out of the other rookies, Mason Graham, Schlesinger, that you thought was impressive?
I like Schlesinger in the way he plays. He's all over the field, it feels like. So I'm excited to see what he can do with his career. Of course, the Luke Floria catch was awesome to see, sort of the Cleveland kid stay home and make that kind of catch. Hopefully his injury isn't crazy serious. I know Kevin Stefanski said today that it was serious, but I don't know how serious it is. So when we get updates on that, hoping for the best for him and for him to be able to stick around here and hopefully get some sort of spot to remain with the team in some capacity. But yeah, I thought Schlesinger was all over the place. I really like to see him. And the running backs, I thought, were really good in pass protection. That's something that it's hard for young running backs to do, especially right out of college. I know I was fortunate enough to watch Travion Henderson, who was really, from talking to NFL people, like one of the best at pass protection in college that they've ever seen. So his maturity, I think, was really cool to watch, and then see other rookie running backs sort of pick that up really quick, I think is something that's really unique and really valuable to a franchise, to be able to have a undrafted rookie come in and be able to pass protect that quickly. There were a couple nice plays where they blitzed, and he gave Shedeur an extra second or two to deliver a ball. So I thought that was impressive too.
No, you know now all the mania is going to be about this depth chart. Shedeur is 4th on the depth chart going in. Does one good performance leapfrog him over Dillon Gabriel? Hopefully Dillon's hamstring can be healthy enough where maybe we could see him against the Eagles. What do you make of the depth chart mania?
If I had to guess, I would say no. I think that the Browns will want to see that at least one more time, a performance like that, to be able to say, okay, he's really threatening for the 3rd spot there. But overall, I think that fans don't realize that Shedeur still has a long way to go. It was really impressive, really good things to see out of him. That's exactly what you want to see. But at the same time, they have Joe Flacco, they have Kenny Pickett, who I know has been battling that hamstring injury. But I think that those two guys are still going to be at the top come week 1. But it's impressive and nice to see that you have rookies that have performed well. So potentially if the season goes awry, then you throw them in there and get an extended look at them.
How important are these joint practices? You know, we have the one with the Eagles coming up this week. What does that mean? What are the coaches looking for? Is it a heightened type of practice versus your normal practice just out in Berea?
It's really nice. I know it's refreshing for the players for sure. They go against each other all the time, right? Like all training camp long, and then they're finally able to get out there and go against people that they're not familiar with. It heightens the competition. Of course, we always see those kinds of battles throughout, whether that's legal or not legal battles. But yeah, I think that everyone enjoys it. I think that the coaches like to see their players go against other competition. I think it just genuinely makes everyone better. So I think that it's a no-brainer when it comes to scheduling joint practices and getting as many as those in as you possibly can.
No, while we've got you, we got to mention before we get you out of here, Buckeyes initial coaches poll came out. Ohio State ranked number 2. Were you surprised by that? Now, they are the national champions, so some people say that they should be 1, but there is a little uncertainty at quarterback. Were you surprised to see them at number 2?
I don't think so. I am just intrigued to see what they do with the quarterback position, because I think that coming away from last year, everybody unanimously was like, okay, Julian Sain's here, our guy, let's go. But I really think that it's a battle. I think that it's close. Everything that people I've talked to that are down there still think it's close. I think that they're just looking for consistency, and they haven't necessarily gotten that to this point from either of the quarterbacks. But I think that Lincoln Kienholz is really showing that he can be the guy, so I wouldn't rule him out by any means. But regardless, if they were to name Julian Sain the starter, I do still think that you'll see Lincoln in a capacity of run-type plays that they need him, right? Like, he's a really athletic kid. He's really good in the read option game. So I think that they'll be able to utilize both of them regardless of who they announce the starter for week 1. I think it'll be nice and refreshing to have maybe a red zone threat inside the 10-yard line. On 1st and goal, you put Lincoln in there for a read option, and it just adds more layers to the defense that they have to worry about. So I think both will see time.
And knowing Ryan Day, he's going to drag his feet as long as possible before he names that starting quarterback.
Of course. I think he said by the end of this week he hopes to have an answer, but I wouldn't be surprised if it drags out even more than that. But yeah, they just want consistency, and so however long that takes, then they're going to wait that long. But hoping by the Texas game at noon that they'll have a starting quarterback ready.
Noon.
Noah Weiskopf, thanks so much for coming in, and good luck covering UNC. I know it's been a lot of hard work on your end, and it's cool to see it pay off. I hope you enjoy the weather over there, too.
I've heard really good things, and in the winter, I don't think it'll be as crazy as it is here, but I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Don't forget about us and check in from UNC. We want to get those updates from Chapel Hill.
Oh, we will, for sure. Thank you.
Thanks. Let's take one quick break. We'll be back with more Big Play Cleveland right after this. The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Garage Beer. No bitterness, no frills, no IPA, just beer-flavored beer. Find local retailers who sell garage beer near you by visiting drinkgaragebeer.com.
Bringing the heat on the Big Play Cleveland Show, brought to you by our friends at Northeast Factory Direct. Jensen Lewis joining the program, where Shedeur Sanders looked pretty good on Friday's preseason game. Your house could look pretty good if you go through Northeast Factory Direct, because they truly have it all, from new furniture if you're remodeling your kitchen. They've got all of those fancy appliances as well. There are no fancy showrooms. There are no high-pressure salespeople. It is just great items at unbelievable prices, and it gets even better for our fans. When you go to Northeast Factory Direct and you got all your stuff and you're getting ready to check out, you ask for that extra special Big Play bonus, and you're going to get an extra hookup on top of how unbelievable the prices already are at Northeast Factory Direct. So go visit them today in Cleveland, Euclid, Macedonia, or North Canton. You could check them out online at northeastfactorydirect.com. Get your search started there, but go check them out in store and get that extra special Big Play bonus. We bring in Jensen Lewis. We got to start with the fun news of the week for our Guardians. Gavin Williams had a one-hitter against the New York Mets. Man, we were so close to history there. I want to ask you, though, like, what was working so well for Gavin in that outing, where he was able to make quick work of the Mets hitters and find himself late in that game with a real opportunity to throw the first no-no that we've seen since Len Barker in Cleveland?
Yeah, Nick, I was actually hosting on LV Network Radio as that game was transpiring, so we got to dive in and listen to the last couple of innings. And, you know, even working around the handful of walks that he had was actually pretty good. And you mentioned the efficiency, even with the elevated walk totals, was still, you know, in that spot, getting into the 8th inning, 100+ pitches into the 9th inning. I'm actually very proud of Stephen Vogt for leaving him out there, even after he gave up the homer to Soto, to try and finish off that complete game, because we just don't see it, you know, or in a game much more allowing starting pitchers to be able to finish what they started. So it's really been a progression, Nick. I think when you look at just the overall body of work, statistically, he's been the best starting pitcher now for the Guardians rotation, you know, even a top 10 pitcher the last 2 weeks in all of baseball.
Have you been in a clubhouse during a no-hitter? What do you guys talk about no-hitters? Do you buy into that you don't mention a no-hitter while it's in progress?
Chris, I was in the bullpen, if you guys remember the infamous perfecto that wasn't for Armando Galarraga in Detroit.
Yeah.
And, you know, we always know that there's, you know, maybe a defensive player or two that's, you know, just web gem-esque. And it's like, okay, you got to have one of those if history is going to happen. Well, it was Mark Redzalanek who hit a shot into left center. And you guys know how much real estate is out there in Detroit's outfield. Well, Austin Jackson came running to the gap almost in front of us, makes the diving catch for the first out of the 9th inning. We're like, okay, it's happening. We're going to see it. And then, as we all remember, Jason Donald, you know, hits the ground ball, and Jim Joyce ends up making, you know, that save call that we all saw, you know, from 450 feet away. Like, I can't believe that just happened. So that might have been the most awkward, you know, time in a locker room, because we all came in, and even JD was like, well, what do I say? And we were like, well, you just got to tell the truth. Like, you were out. But boy, if replay, you know, had been viable and in, you know, our game back then, obviously it would have been overturned. So yeah, that one was at the big league level. the one that I was a part of and was one of the most ridiculous endings to what should have been a perfect game that ended up not being there.
Jensen, with the advent of all these more technological, the replays and everything, do you think that it would be harder for a pitcher to throw a no-hitter? Do you think we'll ever have a Cleveland pitcher throw one?
I think we will, Gab. And to be honest, now with ABS basically going to be here, the automatic ball strike as early as next season, it won't shock me with some of the closer calls that maybe lead to a ball four that could be overturned. I'm anxious to kind of see where that goes, especially in these kind of situations. But yeah, I think we're close. I think we're getting there. If you guys remember when Carlos Carrasco came within an out down in Tampa Bay, I remember Al Pulaski and I being on the pre-post that day, and we were like, we're going to get it. Like it finally is all, set up for it to happen in a place that Cookie had so much success throughout his career. So it'll happen, guys, in our lifetime, hopefully sooner than later.
Let's talk about Tanner Bybee just a little bit. He's got the highest ERA in the rotation. He's got, the occasional command lapses or the tendency to lose his touch a bit late in starts. What do you make of his struggles?
It is one of those stretches, Gab, when you think about where his overall year looks, that I almost think it might be one of those silver linings. You'd rather kind of get it out now because, as we know, if this team's making the postseason or at least making a run to it, he's as critical to the success of the club overall as anybody in that rotation. Imagine getting Tanner right the way Gavin's thrown the ball this year. Slade really had his first bad outing in what feels like, the last month or so against Chicago over the weekend. That's a pretty viable 1-2-3 punch when you're looking at, what a trip to the playoffs might look like.
Travis Bazzana got the call up to Columbus. How quickly until we see him go up 71 and up here in Cleveland?
I mean, listen, we all have PTSD, guys, about the chase to Lauder. He's playing well. CJ Kafis finally gets the call, and he should have. I think a lot of it predicated, guys, probably on how, this homestand and the early part of that road trip out west goes when they head to Arizona. So it may be sooner than later, but, as long as he's healthy and he's doing what they ask of him, you drafted him number 1 overall for a reason. You didn't want there to be a long time here in his progression in the minor leagues. So it could be sooner than later. And boy, what a boost to the ball club he would be.
Alrighty, it is time for our Northeast Factory direct question of the week with our guy, Jensen Lewis. Jensen, there are some fans downplaying the current stretch that the Guardians are on because of their opponents. A lot of people are saying that you're only winning these games in the fashion that you are because of your opposition. How much of this streak is because of the fact that the Guardians are playing teams that are just ultimately not that great?
Well, it doesn't really matter to me, Nick. I mean, the schedule is what it is, and you want to catch teams that, aren't playing well at this point in the season to try and, find yourself into a playoff spot. And guys, the numbers bear it out. Since the All-Star break, I mean, you're looking at the 5th most runs scored from this Guardians offense. I think you're looking at the 3rd best as far as overall team ERA, second only to Texas, and the Dodgers have the best team ERA overall since the Midsummer Classic. So, hey, it is what it is. This is what you asked for, right? Opportunities to kind of pile up series victories. That's all this team's done, and this is why they're in the position they are right now.
Bring in the heat. Thanks so much for your time once again. And I know you were on the radio for quite a long time, so we appreciate you spending time with us, and go take a nap.
Will do. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Sounds good. We'll be back with more Big Play Cleveland right after this. Welcome back to the Big Play Cleveland Show. It's time for our Fill in the Blank segment brought to you by our friends at Pure AV. Football season just around the corner, and Pure AV has everything you need to get your man cave ready. And with their high-performance audio and video displays, you're sure to be happy. If you're worried about keeping a clean interior, they offer hidden audio and video options that allow you to keep that elegant look without sacrificing your favorite technology. Pure AV can set you up with invisible architectural speakers that are hidden in your walls and ceilings, as well as disappearing TVs that vanish behind art or mirrors. The guys over at Pure AV are constantly repairing or finishing other AV companies' botched jobs, so why not call them in the first place to eliminate all that hassle? Visit pureavcorp.com to see everything they offer for your home today. All right, first fill in the blank, gang. Shedeur Sanders' post-game interaction with Tony Grossi was...
It was perfect. I thought he handled it very well. Hey, we've seen Browns mix it up with Tony Grossi in the past. Baker Mayfield's done it in the past. Even Kevin Stefanski mixed it up with him a little bit. I thought Shedeur did a nice job. He went up man to man, told him what he thought about what Tony Grossi was reporting. And by the end of it, they were yucking it up. He made his point. Grossi said something to him. I'm not sure what. But he was able to get that point across without coming out as combative, without coming out as, some sort of a petulant child or anything. He did it man to man, and that's the way we want it. And I credit Shedeur for going ahead and making his thoughts known.
Did you guys see that Tony's next tweet? I can't remember it exactly, but his headline for his next article was what takeaways basically from Shedeur Sanders' impressive debut. So I was like, oh, okay, there we go.
Already getting that positive spin, what Shedeur was looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't really make much about this. I really think, this happens a lot, and people don't really see it. I've got some stories that, I wish I could share on here. Yeah, this happens a lot, and it just so happens that Shedeur has a video camera with him at all times.
He's got his own media
Right.
there to follow him and document all this stuff, which is an added twist and something I think people are either going to like or despise about him, but it is who he is. He's going to have media with him, his own media.
By the way, something else that I took away from the preseason game, sign me up for Deion Sanders live tweeting Browns games like the rest of us.
Right.
That was a welcomed addition to Friday's Browns verse. Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, you are more than welcome to live tweet with the dog. But some of the best, funniest tweets that you'll ever see mid-Browns game, Deion, please join us.
You can't deny that the Sanders family are bringing energy and positive energy. Because to your point, Nick, maybe you've heard things, and I would say a lot of them have to be negative, just those in between things. And to your point too, Chris, of certain players that we do know of that we have had the cameras around to see. But I think it's positive that he's bringing the good vibes as well as the positive play. How about having joint practice and a preseason game against the reigning champs this week is?
I think it's an outstanding opportunity for us to see where we're at with these young guys. You're putting yourself, if you got to be the best, you want to play the best, and that's what we're going to be doing this week. So we'll get a chance for each of these position groups to go up against the champions.
Yeah, I mean, Philly has a really good offensive line. The tush push is kind of their famous thing. So it'll be great work for the Browns defensive line, which everybody is very excited about. And ultimately, you got to keep an eye on how they manage this quarterback thing. Because now Shedeur Sanders probably does deserve more of a look, but with Dillon Gabriel getting healthier, you're going to want to see him play Saturday in Philly as well. So it's going to give the entire team an opportunity to compete against the best team in football last year. But I do think for the Browns internally, they've got to be smart about how they continue to manage this QB thing, because they drafted two of them. The owner said that we should see two of them during the season this year. So time to manage all of that, I guess.
NBA updates. There's a great slate of games on Christmas this year. Spurs Thunder, Rockets Lakers, Mavs Warriors, Wolves Nuggets. Cavs are going to be playing the Knicks in Madison Square Garden on Christmas Day. So the Cavs getting that Christmas Day game next season is?
Not quite Christmas in July, Christmas in August in this case. We're getting an early present here in Cleveland, getting the Cavs playing in Madison Square Garden against the Knicks. Maybe an Eastern Conference Finals preview potentially. Certainly it's kind of a de facto opening day, I think, for the NBA for a lot of fans, especially the more casual fans. Always a great time, and I'm glad that the Cavs are back there playing on Christmas Day, Nick.
Sign me up for this. I can't wait for this. Call Pure AV now, pureavcorp.com now. Get your setup ready. Get the TVs and the speakers ready to go for Christmas Day. You want to be the household that has the family around, the entertainment system with the Cavs on the big screen. I look forward to that every single year. I love the NBA on Christmas Day. It's what makes Christmas feel like Christmas, and the fact that the Cavs are going to be back on Christmas Day for the first time since LeBron, it feels right. And I'm very excited to see this. I know a lot of people will say, myself included, this Cavs season won't really matter until the postseason, but the fact that it's Cavs versus Knicks on Christmas Day will be a little bit added intrigue, because it'll be a good measuring stick game to figure out, Is this an Eastern Conference Finals preview? We said it last year. Cavs Celtics should have been a collision course to the Eastern Conference Finals. That didn't pan out. This year, it truly should be as simple as Cavs Knicks to come out of this East.
Let's go Guardians and the pitching staff. Good stuff out of Williams lately. He's 7-4 with a 3.17 ERA. Almost threw that no-hitter against the Mets. I think he was within 2 outs. Yeah. Really impressive showing. Other guys are doing well too. But in a must-win game, I want blank to be the starting pitcher for the Guards.
We talked about this earlier in the season. We said, who is the best pitcher right now on this staff? If it's a big game, I want Big Rig out there. Give me Gavin Williams. Almost had the no-hitter this week. Juan Soto screwed him on that one. But fabulous job by him. Really, the pitching has been good for the Guardians. You know, especially the bullpen, Nick. The bullpen has really turned it on here in the last month, and that's been the key to our success last year. And if we can continue to get that out of the bullpen with good starting pitching, then our offense, which is sometimes up, sometimes down, we'll be able to, have a chance in all these ball games.
Yeah, they're calling it a one-hitter, by the way. I was super pumped about Gavin Williams coming into the year. I remain pumped about Gavin Williams. I think he should be the game one starter when this team gets to the postseason. I love what I've seen out of the Cleveland Guardians right now, and you hit it right on the head, Chris. Like, the fact that this starting pitching and the bullpen has really come to form the way that it has, you will have an opportunity, whether you win the division and you're hosting a playoff series or you got to sneak in via wild card, you're going to have a chance to play upset and to really surprise some teams come playoff time, because this starting pitching paired with the bullpen is going to be really good. And last year, that was the piece that we were wishing could have been better and could have had a couple more guys healthy to help us along the way in our playoff chase. So Guards are going to go to the playoffs, guys. I'm feeling really good about this baseball team.
Look at that
I'm telling you right now, they're definitely not going down without a fight. This is a team that was 15.5 games back of Detroit in June. So the fact that they're climbing and just taking it one game at a time shows a lot of the grit and resilience of this team. And honestly, this is exciting baseball right now. Again, a special thanks to our friends at Pure AV. Be sure to check them out at pureavcorp.com. We're going to take a quick break and be back with more Big Play Cleveland right after this. The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Pure AV, luxury home automation. Experience your dream smart home by visiting pureavcorp.com. Welcome back to the Big Play Cleveland Show. This Smart Choice segment is brought to you by Smart Choice Windows. Smart Choice Windows is the place to go when you need to upgrade your home, and right now they're running some awesome promotions like buy 2 windows, get 2 free, $1,500 off whole home siding. They've also got $500 off entry door installation, and they offer great financing with no money down, no interest until 2027. So if you're ready for quieter, more energy-efficient windows, give them a call at 844-GET-SMART or head over to smartchoicewindows.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate today. And be sure to ask about the Big Play bonus to get an additional 10% off all promotions. All right, we're giving you the situation, and you'll tell me the smart choice. Assuming all 4 quarterbacks are healthy this week, the smart choice would be to...
Well, I don't think Pickett's going to be totally healthy, so I'm going to take him off the board. I want to see the 2 young guys play. I want to see Shedeur Sanders and I want to see Dillon Gabriel both get a lot of playing time in this preseason game. I think Joe Flacco can work with the ones during these co-practices all week long, but then in the preseason game, let's showcase our young guys. Let's see what they've got. Let's let them kind of battle it out head-to-head. Let's see it on the big stage. I think that would be fun, and I think that would be great for their competitive spirit to show, hey, who's the big dog here? Who can come out on top in a meaningless game here?
Especially against a good team like the Eagles, that's what this should be about to me. And I know there's some thought that maybe you should let Joe Flacco start this game and kind of use it as maybe a mini dress rehearsal, because every day that Kenny Pickett can't do 11 on 11s makes it that much harder, in my opinion, for him to win this quarterback competition, because at some point you got to get on the field and show that you could hang with the old man and that you could beat Joe Flacco for this starting job. I've kind of got right now, as we sit today, Joe Flacco's name written in pencil to be the week 1 starter. So the question then moves to me, well, who's going to be the backup quarterback? I don't know about Kenny Pickett because he hasn't practiced in 11 on 11s. Now he's gone through some of the individual stuff, but the 11 on 11s is where you measure these guys up. So to me, I'm looking at Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, who have an opportunity to go into the season as the QB2. And for Dillon Gabriel, Now you got to prove it. Shedeur Sanders proved it, and he barely had any time to prepare. You've had a ton of time to prepare with the first team, with the ones. It should look as good and as seamless as Shedeur's debut did. So I would start Dillon Gabriel on Saturday against the Philadelphia Eagles and then let Shedeur Sanders play the second half.
To me, any reps that you give to Joe Flacco in these preseason games are just throwaway reps, because you can do all of those in practice. You can do them in the co-practices with these other teams, and he's a veteran. He knows what to expect. He knows the level of preparation he needs. If he really needed to be on that field, I'm sure he would tell someone, and he's not. And so I think those are throwaways. I want to see those young guys come in.
Let's talk undrafted free agents. I know we're all a little biased and enjoy the Cleveland native, Luke Floria, and that one-handed catch. I think, social media was excited about that for good reason. How about if you had to bet on one undrafted free agent making this Browns team, the smart choice would be?
Well, this being Cleveland, you have a nice story like Luke Floria, makes a great catch, a one-handed catch, and on that same exact play hurts himself. And it sounds like now the Browns have placed him on some kind of an administrative injury list where he's going to be cut. Yeah, where he's going to be cut, and then we have an opportunity to bring him back at this point. So he's somebody who obviously I'm pulling for a lot. It was great to see that one-handed grab. That was amazing. Young guy, somebody who I think has a lot of upshot, and I would like to see him make this team. Unfortunately, it's going to be a numbers game at the end of the day, and it's very tough for these injured guys to be able to make the club.
It is. I don't know that an undrafted free agent makes this team, just because I know everybody, now that he's got this hammy injury, like 2 to 3 weeks, he's going to get released. And then when he gets picked back up, maybe he can find his way onto the practice squad. I think Gage Lavardin, the SC product by way of Miami, Ohio, could find himself on that Browns practice squad as well. That's important, by the way. Like, I think everybody will just kind of discard and throw out the fact that Floria, Lavardin will be practice squad guys. Andrew Berry really views this thing as like a 60-man roster. You've got the 53, but then you've got the guys that can be game day elevations off the practice squad. Heck, in 2023, we saw them do that with Joe Flacco. They were their starting quarterback was getting elevated every week off the practice squad. So we've seen these kind of bizarre things happen before. I'm not throwing it in the garbage when these guys get put on the practice squad, because they could very well be up here and play on Sundays.
It was MGK weekend over the weekend, so we had a lot going on with MGK, and all this to say Joe Hayden played in the celebrity basketball game. And let me just tell you, I am sorry, Joe Hayden, I was not familiar with your game. He balled out. And this next question is, if you could pick any former Browns player to have spent his entire career in Cleveland, the smart choice would be. And I just got to say, Joe is just so lovable. Shout out to him.
So I'm an old head. We had Noah in here today talking about Bill Belichick. Who did he cut? Well, Bernie Kosar. I would have loved to have had Bernie Kosar spend his entire career here in Cleveland. Who knows what would have happened? We had Vinny Testaverde after that and had some playoff success. But who knows what would have happened if we would have had Bernie get completely healthy, stay here in Cleveland for a few more years. I'd like to believe we would have made that magical run.
As optimistic as I am about Shedeur Sanders, for me, it's got to be Baker Mayfield.
You're gonna go Baker.
In a parallel universe, and I get, like, Baker has said himself that he had to leave Cleveland, he had to hit rock bottom to grow up and mature the way that the Browns wanted him to, and that we're trying to force him to in real time. In a parallel universe, it all worked out here in Cleveland, and we're not dealing with the fallout, and we're not dealing with the Deshaun Watson trade and the carnage that came of all of that stuff. Like, in an opposite universe, Baker Mayfield is still our franchise quarterback. Like, this is a guy that's a trendy MVP pick right now around the league. Like, in a dream world, that's all happening right here with our Browns.
All right, that Smart Choice segment also brought to you by Smart Choice Baths. If your bathroom needs an update, the team over at Smart Choice Baths has you covered. Whether you're looking to replace your shower or do a whole bathroom remodel, Smart Choice can offer you the quality and expertise you'll need to make that experience an enjoyable one. They offer custom designs tailored to your style and needs and have safe, accessible solutions with their walk-in options. No matter what you need, they've got you covered, and right now they're offering $1,250 off all bathroom projects plus a free luxury luxury upgrade. It gets even better with their low monthly payments starting at just $199 a month or 0% financing for 24 months. So be sure to check them out. It's smartchoicebass.com. Give them a call at 844-GET-SMART, and you can set up that free estimate today. Don't forget to mention that Big Play bonus to receive an additional 10% off with all promotions. We're going to take a quick break. Be back with more Big Play Cleveland right after this.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Smart Choice Windows, energy-efficient products at an affordable price. Visit smartchoicewindows.com today.
Welcome on back into the Big Play Cleveland Show. It is time for our weekly chat with NASCAR Cup driver for the number 10 Kaulig Racing Chevy, Ty Dillon. Ty drives for Northeast Ohio's own Matt Kaulig, who fields 2 teams in the NASCAR Cup Series. Ty, welcome on back into the program, fresh off of Sunday at Watkins Glen.
Hey, man, glad to be back. Yeah, yesterday was a day that we probably want to forget. It wasn't the greatest for us. You know, the middle part of the race, we were really solid and actually kind of charging up through the field. And our last set of tires we put on, and I was actually really fast and kind of driving up to I think in the teens. And I don't know what happened, if there was a sniper out there in the crowd or what, but it's like they shot the tires out of our car and we went back quickly. And sometimes you'll have that. Sometimes you'll just have a set of tires or a run that just doesn't pan out the way you thought it was going to be, and it kind of ruined our day. So we threw pretty much a Hail Mary at it. We pit an extra time just in case a caution comes out. And if the caution comes out there, we flip the field and we're starting up front. So we kind of went for it, especially at this point in the season. We're not going to be able to point our way into the playoffs, so why not take a shot at something crazy happening? So, not the result we wanted, but there's a lot of things that we learned from this weekend at Watkins Glen, and kind of wash it all from there and go on to the next one.
Ty, obviously you're a big Panthers fan. We had our little in-show rivalry, Browns-Panthers, Friday in Carolina. It's been the hot topic of the show, so I've got to ask you, what did you make of the Shedeur Sanders debut? And the Panthers ones looked all right as well.
Yeah, our ones look good. The rest of the squad struggled. I was a little disappointed in that with our group, but honestly, I was impressed with Shedeur. He seemed very in control. Honestly, I felt like I watched a lot of his games last year at Colorado, and I felt like he was actually more quiet in the pocket in the NFL than he was at Colorado. Maybe he just already feels confident with the guys in front of him, and those weren't even your ones that were, center guard ones that are some of the best in the league. So I think if I was a Cleveland fan, I would be super pumped up on Shedeur. I don't know why they wouldn't just go ahead and commit to him being the guy. And I guess we haven't seen Dylan Gabriel yet, but I don't know how many more rookie performances look better than what Shedeur did.
Yeah, it'll be fascinating to see how this plays out. The Browns have joint practices with the Eagles, obviously won the Super Bowl, so it'll be a fun weekend here again. Maybe Dylan Gabriel will be healthy enough to play in that game, and if Shedeur Sanders plays better than him, I know as somebody that's covered these quarterback competitions many a year that things are going to get loud for Shedeur Sanders, even louder than they are right now, and I've never seen Nike put out an advertisement for a 4th-string quarterback before. So crazy stuff, man.
That was wild. I feel like Dylan Gabriel's in a tough spot now. Like every mistake is going to be, unfortunately, he's the guy that nobody wants to see be the quarterback now just because Shedeur is such a fan favorite. So he's in a tough spot. He's going to have to perform elite to win everybody's heart to begin with, which is tough.
All right. We're going to flip it to a little Panthers, and then we'll flip it back to NASCAR. Tet McMillan looked awesome in the preseason game. I was telling you a little bit before the show. I watched the game with a couple people that I'm in a fantasy league with and was maybe inflating the Tet McMillan tires a little bit too much. If I did that in the private setting, might as well take that to air on the program. What did you make out of this kid? He really looks like he could be one of the steals of the draft.
He just looks smooth, right? Like that throw down the sideline just is cool, and like as crazy as it looked, he made it look easy. And then you can see like the rookiness in him, but I think some of the knock was like maybe his willingness to like work hard and to get better coming out of Arizona, that he would kind of take plays off. But I think when in the end zone, when he was late to get his head around to catch a touchdown, which would have been like 60 yards and a touchdown and 3 catches on just a drive, would have been crazy. And but he's like willing and understands that he can get better, which is really cool. And listen to all his interviews as a Panthers fan. I think he's going to be a superstar. And even better that, I think as a Panthers fan, we're excited to see that Bryce look like the Bryce that ended the season last year right out of the gate. So hopefully that that confidence continues, and we'll see what our first team defense can do when we go into Houston.
He truly can do it all. And don't forget, Ty Dillon is a professional athlete this weekend. We head to Richmond Raceway, a short track. Ty, you've competed at this track in all 3 of the national series. How much you looking forward to getting back out there this weekend and being able to flush whatever happened over this past weekend?
Yeah, certainly. Ever since the in-season challenge at Indy, it's like we've had just things not go our way, and that's part of being in a 38-week season of NASCAR. It's like you'll go through streaks of 5 races where you feel like everything's going right, and then you can turn the dime and feel like you're performing just as good, but the results just don't show it, and that's very frustrating. It's easy to get down in those times. So I think we go to Richmond. It's a place that I always have enjoyed. I've ran really well there, but it's a very tough place to pass. You have to start your weekend out fast, start up front, and you'll have a good shot. So we're going to have to work hard this week, especially starting today, going to the simulator, get our car fast for qualifying, and hopefully qualify up front, and I think we'll have a really strong race.
Make sure to throw him some love on social media at Ty Dillon. You could follow along with Colleague Racing as well at Colleague Racing. Ty, appreciate you popping on to the Big Play Cleveland Show every single week. And I think we're going to have to hook it up with some Browns gear from our site to make good on this bet.
Yeah, I know for sure. I'll be ready to wear it whenever.
All right, sounds good. Go
take a Shedeur.
All right, sounds good. Show him some love at Ty Dillon. We'll be back with him next week. More Big Play Cleveland right after this.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Fairway Ford, the largest inventory of new Ford trucks, the lowest pricing, and same hometown level of service. Visit fairwayfordohio.com today. Welcome back to Big Play Cleveland. We've got Big Play Bets brought to you by FanDuel. We're super excited to have FanDuel right now. I know we're going to have a fun football season with them, and we appreciate their sponsorship. We got to talk all things bets. Nick, kick us off.
Well, on August 26th, before the football season gets going, it's FanDuel Futures Day, a new holiday for football fans. It's 24 hours of deals on all of your favorite football season predictions. So take a flyer on the MVP race, crown your champion in August, or parlay your division winner dark horses together. We'll do that next week on the show. Mark your calendars. This is your day for your hunches, your hot takes, your calls, and your odds. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now, because FanDuel Future Day only lasts one day. FanDuel, play your game. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. August 26th is FanDuel Futures Day, and we'll get people ready for that next week on the program.
Can't wait.
Should we do one of these? Chris, who's your MVP pick this season?
Well, I've got a couple of them. I'm looking at either Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson, keeping it right there in the division.
Here in the AFC North.
Each of those guys, I think, depending upon who wins the division, both of those teams, I look to go far in the playoffs, and they're going to do it on the arms of those two individuals. So both of those are ones I've early got circled here for my NFL MVP.
So the crew on the Big Factor isn't ready to do our group reveal, but myself, Ryan, Jack, and Rob have an MVP sleeper pick that we've been talking about for some time, and I'll unveil it next week on Big Play Cleveland. But there is a candidate out there that's not in the AFC North that we are all going in on MVP this season on FanDuel.
Don't tell me it's Baker Mayfield. Is it going to be Baker Mayfield?
TBD.
All right, we'll find out.
I feel like my pick is also, a dark horse for this year anyway by the odds and the probability, but I'm a big Jalen Hurts fan.
Okay.
I don't know if it's sheerly just I love the way this guy plays. I love the person that he is. And he's just dropping bars online too. Like, I had a purpose before anybody had an opinion. How God gave everything to one single man, I don't know, because this dude is just seems to be the full package, and it's hard for me to root against the guy, even though he has nothing to do with us or...
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Super Bowl, and right now he's got his reigning Super Bowl MVP. So coming into this season, going to have some lofty expectations for him. I think what makes Jalen Hurts, his odds would be so much better. He would be thought of more as a favorite if Saquon Barkley didn't exist. That's the difficult piece with this thing, is that he is going to command so much of that offense still.
All right, so mark your calendars. Once again, this is your day for hunches, your hot takes, your calls, and your odds. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now, because Futures Day only lasts the one day. FanDuel, play your game, and of course you have to be 21 or older and present in select states. If you've got a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG.
Chris, little future prediction already. Over under on the Browns this year.
Total
5.5
wins?
right now
Yeah.
on FanDuel.
I'm thinking the over right now. Call me Mr. Optimistic as we sit here in August. We just saw that nice performance by Shedeur Sanders. We saw a competent Browns team take the field. Hopefully, we're going to see 17 games of that in the regular season. I want to go into this season, Nick, optimistic. I think we're going to start with Joe Flacco. Then we're going to turn it over to one of the young guys. Right now, I think that's going to be Shedeur Sanders. I think that's going to get us over that 5.5 number. So give me the over on the Cleveland Browns for wins this season.
I like it. I want to be there with you. I'm gonna take the under, but not by much. My official prediction, I've got them at 5 wins. I think
Okay.
there's a 5-win football team. That's an improvement from last year. I think Joe Flacco, Shedeur Sanders could get you there, but I've got us at 5 wins right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is optimism for Cleveland. We're talking 5
5
wins,
wins.
just under and just over for the over in number of wins.
And Chris, I'm with you. It's the recency bias, so I'm going optimistic over as well. Thanks so much,
One
everybody.
preseason game. That's all it takes. A little bit of optimism.
One
Let's go.
preseason game, baby. Perfect timing. Thanks for watching Big Play Cleveland. We'll see you next week.